In this episode, we're going to be going to our favorite, I want to say, flower resource locations. Keeping up on potions can be a challenge, so you have to do it quickly, even starting in the beginning of the game. The resources necessary to make the primary brews and potions that we require to survive the best we can. All right, so I'm going to go through each one of these. Now, I want to preface by stating that if you recall, when we started the game, we set the crafting settings to half the cost for making things. So build cost multiplier is 0.5 out of 1, which is default. Crafting cost multipliers was set to 0.5. Crafting rate, don't want to sit around in the game waiting for things to be crafted because my time is valuable. My game, my rules, and we don't care gamers, so that's what that is. Refinement cost multiplier, again, 0.5 out of the default of 1. So when it comes to healing, we start with vermin salve, which requires a rat, very easy to make and get. Plant fiber, very easy, and bone, you're going to get a ton of this, right? Then you make your empty sacks, and eventually you can get to making more with less. And by the way, make sure you've got your matched flooring for alchemy because it reduces the cost by 25%. To build these things, and the refinement rate makes it even faster, right? So blood rose brew, which is the next healing, the brews are the next level, requires 12 blood rose and 1 empty water skin. So at 1 you just double everything. So if you have the original default settings, it's 24 blood rose versus 1 water skin. Fire resistant, don't use a lot of them, but fire blossom's easy to get, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Oil's easy to get, and 1 water skin. So again, if you've got the original default, it's 30 fire blossom, and I believe 2 oil. Minor garlic, Hell's Clarion, show you where I get that. For the most part, most of these flowers and seeds are all over, but there's some areas where it's more concentrated than others. Mourning Lily takes 16 in the original setting. Mine at 0.5 is 8. 8 blood rose would be 16, and 1 water skin. All right. Blue of ferocity, which is increased physical damage. Hell's Clarion, fishbone, right? And the snowflower, I mean, when you're getting up and the higher levels where you're doing, I want to say medium levels, when you're doing the bosses, you kind of have to have, when you watch me go through, a lot of times I wasn't using these potions as we were going through, but, when you start getting near silver, you definitely need silver resistant brew, and then eventually we get to silver resistant, which is a must have. So this takes plague briar, which I'm going to show you where I get that. This was really hard for me to find in the beginning when I actually needed this mining silver. So we're going to show that. So you can see that fire blossom, blood rose, this is the higher level blood rose potion for healing, 55%. Blood rose, you got to get a lot of that. Snowflower, you want to get a lot of that. And when you get in higher level, you're going to want to get plague briar for getting your silver to make your dark silver. So the primary ones are blood rose and Mourning Lily. I found I was constantly running out of that. Snowflower, constantly running out of that. I needed that. So the Ferment Salve is the first thing you make in the game. Again, once you get the ability to launch rats, no longer a problem. It just takes 5 bone and 3 plant fiber, which you're going to have a ton of, start making rats. So pretty easy to get that. All right, so let's show on the map where some of these points are next. All right, the first spot in the game, relatively early in the game, is right next to this waygate, the Farbane Woods waygate in the southwest, right? And that's Gleaming Meadows. So you can see when you mouse over, once you discover the area, Blood Rose, Snowflower, and Fire Blossom. So this one is pretty easy to get to by wolf. We're going to fly over and look at it using bat form. Now we have that. But you can see that if you start here in the beginning of the game, you're going to go up and you're going to get your base, and then you're going to go out and start getting servants and resources. You can come up here, it's a little tight, challenging at early game, but you get a ton of Blood Rose, Snowflower, and Fire Blossom here. The first spot we're going to go to, take the teleport, is very close. It's in the southern part here, and that is Gleaming Meadows. And we're going to go over to this waygate right here, Farbane Woods, and take off. Now, it's easy to get to wolf form in the beginning, but I have bat form, and I'm just going to fly over and shoo just what we're going to be picking up. Now, I'm not going to be spending the time to harvest all of this. Just going to go in right in the beginning here. You got yourself some snowflowers. You've got yourself Fire Blossom right here. We've got ourselves all over the place here. Blood Rose, and there we go. So, and you get a lot of pollen on the way as you're going around. Now, there is Pelora right here, who we got earlier, and I'm not going to do that fight. But clockwise, counterclockwise, try to stay away from her, especially in the beginning. But, now I can take her out pretty fast. But just go around and pick all of the resources you want out of here. Let's see what else we got. So Fire Blossom, Snow, Blood Rose. Every once in a while you get some other stuff that's in here. But for the most part, this is a great place to get quite a lot of Blood Rose, of course, Snow, and the Fire Blossoms over there. Next is the Copper Mine. And this is a great place to get, of course, copper, but also, there you go, Hell's Clarion. So come in here, farming a lot of copper in here, and get Hell's Clarion. When you're sending your hunters out to copper mine for you, they're also going to be picking up. Ooh, and every once in a while you get lucky and run across one of these chests. But what do we get here? We got some snowflower seeds, very nice. So great place for Hell's Clarion. The next one is Mourning Lily, and again, this is where I normally start my base, central of the map, in this relatively safe area. But right next door to it, and again, this is one of the boss fights in early game that you're going to be going after, is a Forgotten Cemetery. Now, when you mouse over these areas, once you've discovered it, you can see that there's Mourning Lily that is there for you. So Mourning Lily, Grave, Dusk, and Bone. So after a while, you're going to get a hunter that you can send into these areas to get flowers. Mourning Lily is pretty easy once you get the seeds to grow, but Mourning Lily. So we're going to go over and take a look at that. I've got a lot of Mourning Lily, so I'm looking really good. Been harvesting Blood Rose to get my potions back up. In that area that we just were at, the meadows, you can find some Trippy Shrooms. Don't really use these. I'm more interested in Blood Rose for my healing potions, early game, late game. But this is Plague Brier. This one was really difficult for me to find, and it is in the southern, if we go here, go all the way out, Gloomrot South area. So You know, if you travel around the road, especially off the road, you'll run into it. It's pretty easy to see from the road. But actually, the best place that I found and we're going to go to was in this area here. There's concentrations of the plague briar. Died a few times trying to get there early game because I was trying to get silver resistance so that I could come over here. Silver ore in here, and another boss fight down the southern part, which is easy to get around to open the gate, but you have to come through harpies, which is tricky. But once you get in here for silver ore, if you don't have silver resistance, forget about it. You wasted your time. So we're going to go over now to this area and see if we can get some more of the plague briar. Now, having bat form, of course, really helps. In the beginning, I would go to this waygate right here, the Gloomrot South waygate, and then I was just running up down this road trying to find whatever I could. You mouse over, you know, this is where we get the bat form, this boss fight here. Didn't really find anything. I thought, oh, it's got to be in there. But when I mouse over in this area, I'm really not getting any flower hits, right? So the plague briar is pretty much, hey, I got to go look for it within this area here. So once you get this waygate, the Cursed Forest, and then of course you have bat form, you just fly over here and farm, right? But you need silver resistance. You don't have bat form. It's kind of a shorter run to get here with Wolf. You can get around some of the higher level mobs that might want to hurt you, but let's go over there now. So here we go. And we're going to go into bat form. And we're going to mark our area. I'm going to start right here. Right here, set a waypoint. So you can see if you're in wolf form, you probably are going to get in here and try to work your way around. Some good base locations. I don't think I'd want to be here. To me, the best location is this one right here, especially if you're PvP, but I'm not PvP, and the PvP experts can tell you that. We're going to fly right over here and check this out really quick. So we got our waypoint, we're in bat form, and it makes it a lot easier. So fly over, can't cross over, come on, and the base location, I guess we like that stuff. There's actually some plague briar in these base locations, but we're going to drop down right here, normally do. And you got all these critters here. That are gonna jump you. When you're low level, they're not fun at all. No, especially when you run across the big boys. So let's go to wolf form. Make this a little faster, and then that guy's gonna come after me. Did I just farm this area? Every once in a while you just go, wow, that's what I'm looking for. There's a concentration. Just run up here, wolf form. There we go, right there. Right, so let's just kill these mobs, and there we go, plague briar. And it's you start seeing a lot more. I mean, look at, there's more right there. But these things can be annoying at early game, and these really annoying early game. But late game with the weapons I've got, no fair. Pretty easy to take them out. All right, so that's plague briar. Just a lot more concentrations of it in this area. And again, if you know an area like the meadows for blood rose, please let me know. Let us know, my friends here. Be appreciated, because wow, that was painful getting that stuff. All right, the next one for your holy resistance potions is sunflowers. So this is the first one you get. You need 23 sunflower at 0.5. So you can imagine at your default settings, you need 46. I haven't seen it in a long time. It's just hard to believe. And sunflowers are not that easy to get. So you don't need that many of these potions in the beginning. So sunflowers, I have 251, and that's not necessarily me farming. If you come up here to the cotton farm, because you're going to get to a point where you're going to need cotton in your progression, you're going to get cotton and you're going to get sunflower, and so you're going to be trying to send your hunters in that area if you can. So as soon as you get servants, let's just sit down and take a look. I'm not farming it anymore, but this is that other cotton farm you can't get to. I don't remember, but you discover this cotton farm, you get cotton and sunflower. So let's go ahead and click on it. 500. So as soon as you get your servant, gear up, servants there, and depending on your settings, you can get plenty of sunflower and cotton. So you can only send one, that's fine, but I was constantly having a hunter here as soon as I was within a range that I could farm this area. So that's sunflowers, and the best way to get sunflowers. All right. Otherwise, when you're out there early getting iron, just run in there and kill everything you can, and get as many sunflowers as you can. Because you're going to have to make a lot of these potions, these holy resistance potions early. When you want to do certain of the progression bosses, you got to go into an area that has holy resistance is required. But when you get down into the further boss progression, especially the cathedrals over in the west, you're going to need holy resistant flask, which, look what it requires. It requires one holy resistant potion right here. So you got to make potions, and then to make flasks. But to make the holy resistant flask, which I keep 4 of those on me, you need sacred grapes. So at 0.5 or half the setting, that's 23. So 46 if you're running the full developer default layout for normal gaming. So that's the next one, right? So let's see here. Talk about Bleeding Heart in a moment. So sacred grapes. Wow, that one was not fun. Basically over here, you've got some vineyards, you've got one here, you can do sacred grapes, and you've got one here, you can do sacred grapes. But I found that when I got my hunters high enough level that could go there without dying, and I sent them there too early, and they just died. So right now I'm over there, I have a hunter there, 6 hours left. But this is the only one you can hunt. You'll notice that other one wasn't available for hunting. So I would just basically come on in this waygate right here, which is the Farbane Woods waygate, where we went over to do the meadows, and then just run up here without dying early. It was kind of hard, but up here to this vineyard and mine those there. But later on, when you get high enough hunters, they can go in there and get all the sacred grapes that you're going to require, right? The next one is getting Vampiric Brew. So as soon as you get your gear level up high enough to do General Cassius, we're going to get Vampiric Brew. And again, that is in the ruins of Mortium. We're going to find that critter to fight and kill. And then when you get Vampiric Brew, you're going to need Bleeding Heart. To get Bleeding Heart, we're going to go to the ruins of Mortium. We're going to start right down here. So let's just go ahead and head that direction. And when you're going around, you very rarely you're going to see it. Now I was here recently. It's kind of deceiving. It looks like this, but it's not. All right. So I'm going to go find one because I don't want to run you around. Here we're going to see blood rose. Oh, see, it looks like that, but it's not. Here it is. Here is some bleeding heart right here. See if we can buddy whack it. There we go, bleeding heart, and we got some pollen. So you just cruise around this area and you'll be able to find it. However, the best place for me to find it is discover Dracula's castle, get a hunter, in case I have a huntress, that is geared up and can take on this area, because you get greater Stygian shards and you get a lot of bleeding hearts. Let's check that out. These mobs here are in the 80s, so I basically got my huntress got lucky and got on level 99, looking for 100 when I was doing the Rift 1, so I got lucky. Sure, Rift 2, when you start doing that, which just started, you'll be able to get some good mobs to be able to fight for you, hunt for you in that area, and get you the necessary reagents and materials and resources you need to advance. But the big thing is to make plenty of vampiric brew so you get spell leech, all right? Because that was very important for my build. As soon as you get yourself a servant from the ruins of Mortium and you discover Dracula's castle, if you can get them geared up as high as possible, here's Nina. We are going to send her, come here, to that area right here. Zoom in to get us bleeding heart, get us greater Stygian shards, and more. So general area loot. So 860 is the requirement. Let's go ahead and choose Nina. Come on, select. There we go. 100%, very nice. And let the hunt begin. All right, let's check out Nina. She has returned, and we got 275 bleeding hearts from her. But more importantly, from that area, we got greater Stygian shards, got over 1,000. So it's good to invest in a character that can go out and farm this area. So again, it's Dracula's Castle Garden, and you get greater Stygian shards as well as bleeding hearts. All right, that concludes this session, this episode on where I find my flowers to keep my potions going so that I can keep my progress going. So I hope it was helpful. I know it's going to be helpful for myself and my friends as we move forward, coming back to this game, which we'll do often, and hopefully these video logs pay off. So thanks again for watching, and until the next episode, happy gaming.